This is episode number 2 of season 1 of our Shadows of Brimstone playthrough using the Swamps of Death. And at the end of the last mission, our heroes were both knocked out. We failed the mission, and we were not able to get any loot because we failed our fight at the end there. We weren't able to get the Darkstone deposit, and we were basically just barely able to escape with our lives and get out of the mine. Now, something really unfortunate happened is that I recorded this whole episode. It was a little over half an hour, and I went through this whole process of leveling up and healing, rolling on the injury chart, and doing stuff in town, picking the next mission, all that kind of stuff, only to realize that the camera actually wasn't recording. So I'm having to do this all over again, but it went well, I think, and so I don't really want to do it. So I'm going to recount what I did and what happened so that we can just keep the progress that I made. Now, one thing that I was having difficulty figuring out was the order of events that need to happen. They both got knocked out, and so the rule book states that it's assumed that they were able to actually make it out, and I believe at that point is when we would heal up, because the mission's over, and so I think you get to remove all of your wounds, all of your sanity, and because we were knocked out due to health, we have to roll on the injury chart. And so with Tatanka here, I rolled a concussion, which gave him -1 initiative for, well, it says until the start of the next adventure, you're -1 initiative and have 1 less dice on all skill tests. I'm assuming that's actually, excuse me, quite good timing, because I will likely not have to use initiative or any skill tests, maybe skill tests, but definitely not initiative, I don't think, until we go back to town and start a new adventure again. So I think the concussion is actually going to wear off and not really be that big of a deal. So at least I think, that's the way the wording seems to be stated there. And then with Leroy, we rolled and got a 4, which is a mangled... No, it wasn't a mangled hand. What was it? It was a crushed arm. He rolled an 8. So he got -1 combat, which was a real bummer because he really doesn't have any ranged abilities, and he's strongest on his melee stuff, especially because he's rolling 3. So I was really disappointed by that. But that was kind of that. Now, let's see, what happened next? So I was trying to figure out as well, so in what order of events should that happen? There's Darkstone that I had to roll on as well, and I rolled 2d6 on that, and what was it? No, it was 3, because I had this piece of gear that has this icon on it, which I believe counts as having a Darkstone in your inventory. And so I have 3 total. I rolled and tried to block it with my willpower and only was able to defend against 1. And then I used a grit that I had to roll the 2 failures, and both of those were successes. So I did not take any corruption from that. And hopefully I was able to use the grit for that. I assume so. But, yeah, in the order of things, when should these guys heal up? And when should they be able to gain their grit for the travel phase? I think that at this point, having done this and healed and rolled on the injury chart, that I would get the grit for use in traveling to Frontier Town and use while I'm there. So that's my assumption on what should happen. If I'm wrong there, let me know. Also, at this point, I decided to level up Leroy here because he had over 500 XP. So we cashed in his XP, and I rolled on his little bonus chart. And what did I roll? It was an 8. That's right. So I got +1 lore. So I added +1 to my permanent lore, and I gained plus D6 health. So I rolled a D6. I got a 3, which boosted me up from 12 to 15 permanent health pool. Then on the upgrade chart, I chose belief under devotion. I'm going to take the devotion track. And so I drew 2 blessings and decided to keep the holy speed, which can help boost initiative. I'm assuming that this can also work on myself, which, since Tatanka has 5, I'd imagine Leroy would probably use this for himself more than he would Tatanka. So we're going to give that a try, see how that goes. So that was his level up. Hopefully I didn't miss anything there. Was I supposed to gain a grit on a level up, actually? I think that might be a thing. Let me just see if I can find that quick. Somewhere. This is kind of crazy. I feel like I've been through this rulebook a lot, and I still often don't remember where certain things are in here. Come on, man. Where are you? Maybe I'm looking in the wrong book. That could be the case. Okay, let me check the other book here. Ah, there we go. You fully heal health, sanity, and recover a grit. I'm assuming if you're knocked out, you can't use that to defend against having to roll against the injury chart. Okay. Well, we got a grit out of the deal. That's cool. So he's now got 2. Okay, so we leveled him up, and then we needed to travel to the town, and so we each rolled a d6, and if you roll a 1 or a 2, you add a travel hazard, which we both rolled okay. We didn't roll a 1 or 2, so we didn't have to deal with any travel hazards. And then, due to our failure of the last mission, we had to destroy 3 locations. And so I rolled a d6 3 times, and we destroyed the general store, the frontier outpost, and the saloon. So we were left with very few options. I would have wanted to maybe try to sell Darkstone since I had 2 with Leroy, but I couldn't. And yeah, I mean, there really wasn't much else to do. So I decided that I would sell the Mark of the Void, which use 2 Darkstone to attach to any item, and it gains +1 damage to void enemies. But I think that I'd always have that Darkstone there to deal with. So I opted just to sell it because I might be able to benefit more from the money right now. So I got 200 gold from that. We both ended up going to the docks office and decided to not stay in the town that next night. So went to the docks office, and we each rolled on the event location here. One of us got the expert surgeon. I think we rolled a 10. Yeah, it was 2 5s, which added +1 to rolls on the surgery chart, which was really what I needed to try to get rid of that crushed arm. And then the other one rolled a 7, which was no event. And then I decided, I only had 250 gold with Leroy here, so I needed a really good roll on this, and so I rolled a 2, which made the surgery cost $100. and I decided that's a good price. And I rolled on the table and I got a 5, which plus 1 is a 6, and so I got an impressive scar, which not only healed that injury, but also added plus 2 health. So Leroy's now at 17 health, whereas Tatanka here is only at 10. So we really need to try to boost him up a bit, for sure. But that's what happened there. And then we also, with a little bit of money that we had, decided to buy 2 bandages for $50 each. So now they each have a bandage. And then we left. We rolled a d6 because we were on day 1, and I rolled, I think, a 3 or something, so we were safe from any town events. And that put us at leaving town. And that was it for the day there. And then I'm just going to continue going in order with all of the missions that are in here. So the next one that's going to be coming up here is exploration, which is this one here. So we're going to go tackle that one. Tatanka is very close to leveling up. He's at 480 XP, so 20 more, and he is going to be sitting better. Hopefully gets some sort of bonus to health. That would be great. But we'll see. Yeah, so, well, I guess the positive to all that is that I condensed about 32 minutes of video into, we're sitting at about 10, 11 minutes or so. So not wasting your time too much, at least. But yeah, I'm still trying to get used to the flow and when certain things are supposed to happen. When I want to make sure to get it right and not play this incorrectly. But this is a big game. There's a lot of things that are happening, and so it can be hard to, not overlook stuff. So, all right, but yeah, it was fun. It was I enjoyed town, even though half the buildings were destroyed. The one thing that I really needed to do that helped me most was heal that injury with Leroy, and that was great. It was a major success. We got good surgeons in town, and the concussion that Tatanka had was really kind of no big deal. He's able to walk free of that now, leaving town, and we're starting our adventure with no problems. So I'm really excited now to see what's going to happen on this next adventure. And I think I'm, for the sake of those adventures seemingly taking quite some time, I'll just have this episode here be a rather short one. And we'll start episode 3 at the start of this. So I'll, in between, I'll shuffle everything up, prepare everything, and we'll be ready to go. If there's any feedback that you have about anything that happened there or the order in which things happen, especially when you have people who are knocked out and you failed a mission and you've got people who are ready to level up and everything, that process between last person knocked out and getting to town, would love your feedback there. And as far as town strategy, wow, I still have no idea. There's so much going on in town. I'm feeling overwhelmed by it at this point, but that's in a really good way, because I'd rather have it be overwhelming and it just takes me a while to really figure out how to do things, what to do, like where to get stuff where. That's really fun. I mean, I literally almost get the feeling of walking into a new town, and you really have to take the time to actually explore it and get to know the people and figure out what you can actually do there. So that's really cool. Definitely digging this. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching.